over the last couple days, I've been leveling and trying out Ramada at her EX job. She is actually surprisingly damagey and has an insane range on one of her abilities, plus Dispel, so I feel like there's a few uses where she's really good. She's a great counter for fire teams, obviously, but that's a little bit too easy to go after. So I just wanted to try her out in Arena, and you might be thinking, why would he EX Ramada and use more while there's clouds everywhere? I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit of a masochist, but definitely if Ramada faces Cloud, she goes down in a single shot, and she needs 2 to 3 hits to take Cloud down, so it's not a good matchup. Against other guys though, she seems to be doing fairly well, especially squishy people like Yuna. She can usually one-shot from a very long range. So that's what we'll do today. We'll just show you the loadout, and then as per usual, go in, show you a couple matches, and give you a general idea of what's her potential. Now if you're thinking, her main assets is the Spellblade sub-job. She can increase people's magic resistance, and that's pretty handy. She also has decent damage. If you're looking at 800 attack, that is not a lot, but she does a surprisingly high amount of damage even with all that. She's got a little bit of defense penetration if you're running the Astrologer VC, which gives her, I believe, 20. And then if you manage to proc old Duane's Apron on top, then you have a roughly 70% defense penetration, which is reliable enough to do some damage. So that's what we'll do today. She is a Lancer Spellblade because of that, so she increases magic resistance and then just goes in and deal whatever damage she can. We are running Thief Lore. It gives her a bit more mobility. It does sometimes throw into the front line before she uses the old Duane Apron though, so it comes at a cost, but I feel like the extra agility is kind of necessary for our team. Then we have More, that's right there. She's mainly a anti-mage unit, so if we can afford to fight mages, we will destroy them. More currently has 46% magic resistance, which is insane, and with that she can withstand basically any mage's assault paired with her high spirit. She can get increased magic resistance from Ramada and increased spirit from 9S, so that's a pretty good synergy overall. 9S is there for 2 reasons. He's going to increase our tankiness with shield deployment, he's going to increase our accuracy with Assault Field, which is kind of useful because Ramada is not the most accurate of units, and he also has the ability to decrease the enemy team's piercing resistance, which is a great synergy with Ramada, although usually 2 spears are enough to kill even without that buff. So that's the thing. The main weakness of our team is we have no way to break barriers. So if there's an enemy with high barriers, we are in trouble. And in terms of accuracy, we really need the buff from 9S because nobody's really built for accuracy out there. Then finally, I guess, abilities on off. So for Ramada, all the abilities are on. The AI does a pretty good job at sorting them out. I especially like the Dread Spear Drive. And then sub-job abilities, I have turned off Tonic Spell. I just don't want her to drag hate. She is not tanky enough to do that. For More, I do believe every ability is on both sub-jobs, with the exception of Watera, mainly because it's a delayed attack, and she'll often use it to save TP because it has such a low cost, but often I would rather just see her jabbing thrust and instantly kill the enemy. Finally, we have 9S, and he is also a case of all abilities on as far as I know. Yeah, there we go. So his AI also does a pretty good job at picking the right moves at the right time, so I don't think there's a need to fiddle with those all that much. With that said, let's go. Now you'll notice that my rank isn't as high as it often is. The main reason for that is I've been doing MR only teams as well for fun, not necessarily running bonus VCs or units, so I'm just not getting a lot of points. We'll have to do with that though, and then we'll see if the video takes a long time to record. We'll end up fighting higher rank enemies naturally, I guess. But for now, we have Black Witch, Yuna, and King Mont. This King Mont is running a bit of a wonky card for the extra points, but the rest of their stuff is pretty high level. So I feel like it's a pretty good match, especially for us with a bunch of magic hunters and fire enemy on the other side. So I don't know what's gonna happen. We could get berserked, or the Black Witch could be fast enough to take a couple turns in our face and then kill all of our units, but all in all, this should be a favorable enough matchup. And you will get to see just how tanky Ramada is against magic. It's really surprised me, but in a lot of the matchups I've tried, she ends up surviving 3 attacks from the enemy Black Witch if she has her magic resistance buffed up, so it's really a surprising overall performance. So here we go, she uses resist magic and is currently staying behind More, which I don't mind too much. More is a lot tankier than the rest of our team, unless we're fighting high physical attackers, so having her in front is actually great. If we were to be fighting somebody like Cloud, I would probably swap the positions to make sure 9S is in front instead, because he can at least take 2 hits from Cloud. That's not true for More or for Ramada. So there we go, we have an assault field and a shield deployment, but these buffs are probably going to wear out before we fight the enemy team. We have magic resistance on everybody, so that's pretty good, and then that final buff from Mort will not really impact Ramada's damage at all. So let's see what's going on. We are on the side of King Mont, and Ramada did not use any defense penetration buff, so she will not be able to do much against this King Mont. He's kind of a limit break rush King Mont, so that seems to be the way they're built, but it doesn't really matter. He takes Astral Guidance, and after that, even with only 20% defense penetration, I'm pretty sure the attack from Ramada is going to finish him off. Oh, maybe not. He's actually still pretty tanky. And then Yuna's back to full HP for some reason. So, okay. Linear Spear Shot into, finally, a Obliterate Annihilation for 7,000 damage. That is a pretty high amount of damage. But he's back to life. He's going to take a small practice to the face and then uses Berserk. No, goes for Maiming Slash. That's very surprising. So he's going to get a bit of healing back. He still has hate, so he should be the target of Yuna's heal, and goes to full HP. That's pretty impressive. Minus eats a Dark Rod, but it doesn't really do all that much. That Energy Ray, though, that is going to be pretty bad. We might lose Minus right there. The other guys are fairly strong against magic, but he's a lot weaker to it. Okay, still manages to hold off. And now Jamming Thrust on King Mont, 5,000 damage. The enemy team is not grouping at all, so we can't get any good AoE hit. That's actually pretty bad, because at that point we are getting flanked by the enemy Black Rose Helena, and she might do a number on our team. We Vacuum slash Yuna. It's not a one-shot, but it's damn close. And just as predicted, we now eat the Tenebral Rose. I'm not sure what kind of damage that's going to do, but I'm pretty sure Mort, at least, is going to survive it. Oh yeah, 200 damage on Mort. We did lose Ninus, so 1 down, and then we take out Yuna, so that's 1 enemy out of the way. Ramada still has 800 HP, uses another Obliterate, and paralyzes the enemy Black Witch, but the Paralyze does not proc on her first turn, and she's able to go. 3 more turns to go. You know what? I think we might end up winning this one due to the Doom. Unless the Black Witch is not that tanky versus magic, which seems to be the case. So second turn, the Paralyze does proc, and then we finish her off. That was pretty clean, especially considering they got a flank on our team. Alright, we've got another really favorable matchup. They have Charlotte, who's lightning, but the other guys are mages. So again, we should be able to take quite a few hits. Our team of water units might struggle with killing Charlotte. I'm really banking on Ninus reducing her Pierce resistance and then trying to land another couple abilities. Or maybe Ramada uses Dread Spear Drive, removes the hate from Charlotte with the Dispel component of that ability, and then we finally are able to hit whoever we like. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen, as I said, but I guess we'll see. Also, the way our movement, our team moves this time is going to be a little bit more wonky, perhaps. But nope, seems good enough. And since the enemy tank is really far away from our other guys, this is one of those scenarios where we should be able to use Old OS TMR, which will drastically increase the damage that our Ramada does. If she had that when she hit the Yuna in the last match, it would have been a kill. We did crit as well, but I feel like her crit rate is actually fairly high, so it's very rare to not see her crit. Okay, so Charlotte does have hate, she even has a barrier on, and our team is just running sideways trying to meet her. Definitely not a great movement, but I guess we'll see what happens from now on. We do get Inherited Tyranny, that is great. And at that point, yeah, the movement is really weird, but I guess we'll have the river to protect ourselves from the enemy Charlotte. Okay, the Black Witch is taking the long run, and Branchette Wall, oh my gosh, are they ever going to come to our team? I guess they don't want to fight. Well, that does give us time to renew the Assault Field, I guess, and then use Magic Resistance on one more person. Oh yeah, we'll have that on Mort, perfect. Just before she meets the Yuna, I'm pretty happy about that turn of events. So Yuna comes forward, is not in range to attack just yet, and then Charlotte comes back and uses the Limit Break. I'm wondering what type of damage our Ramada will take. Our Ramada is also built mainly to resist magical damage, so yeah, it takes half her HP from a Charlotte who's a tank. That's a massive amount of damage. Then though, we drop the Astral Guidance on both, which is going to reduce the water resistance on the 2 of these characters, so that's going to be pretty handy. It is not a one-shot on anybody. Procs with the Resolve, which increases the Spirit, so that's not going to help them too much. And then we have Assault Field again, so Ramada's attack should do decent damage right there. Hits both with an Armor Piercer, finishes one, and deals only 2,000 to Charlotte, so definitely not great damage. It did interrupt the spell from Yuna though, so that's pretty useful. Then these guys in the back take a Black Rose's Hex, which deals massive damage, so not great. And Charlotte still has enough AP to keep attacking. Then, yeah, we'll finish Yuna before she casts her second heal, so that's definitely good. And we are all grouped versus a Black Witch, who's going to keep hitting us in the back, though, so definitely not the scenario I would like. Let's see what kind of damage we do. Obliterate Annihilation for Doom this time, and we are staying grouped, so we'll take a Dark Ra for some reason. I was thinking this would be the Tenable Rose, but I guess she didn't need more damage than that. So it's Moore versus the Black Witch again, and just like last time, I'm pretty sure we'll win the match. She begins by breaking our barrier, but we're still fairly healthy. Oh no, Moore is out of AP, so that could mean trouble. So after breaking our barriers, she proceeds to deal significant damage with Dark Resistance down. Probably not a kill still, but we are slowly getting weaker and weaker. We do win to turns somehow, so yeah, that was another fun match. Ramada's really good, but she ends up dying from just the amount of damage she takes in AoE. Okay, this time, Black Witch, King Mont, and Duane. Again, those teams are not completely maxed out, so yeah, it will give you an idea how the teams work, but it's not against top-tier teams. This Duane is only level 107, but he does have all maxed out VCs, so there's at least that, and then it's still 2 double cost units on the enemy side, while we have an MR and a quote-unquote free unit. Although I do believe 9S is just about as strong as a double cost unit. The way he enables teammates while still providing decent damage is definitely in the same value level, in my opinion, as what Duane brings or King Mont brings to a team. So it goes for the Assault Field on turn 1 again, and just like last match, this King Mont is in the last slot, so our team will navigate towards the right side of the map, which will allow us to be together when we fight. That's been a consistent edge that we've had over enemy teams, is we still stay grouped, so we're able to deal damage a lot quicker than what the enemy team does while they're flanking us. So that Black Witch has accuracy up, it's not really going to come in handy. The biggest threat, honestly, even if he's lower level, is Duane. He has VCs to support his damage, and he can reduce our armor, break our barriers, we don't really have barriers, but also reduce our slash resist. So no matter how we're trying to survive his damage, there is nothing much we can do. Also, Duane has insane magic and piercing resistance, so he's a really bad matchup for our teams. I've seen Duane's with more than 50% magic resistance, and Ramada was doing like 2,000 damage to him, even with Oldo's TMR, so we'll see what happens this time, but I'm expecting him to be very hard to kill. 9S moves in and finishes off King Mont very quickly, so we'll see Ramada moving on to another target. Reaches the Black Witch and deals half her HP from a very long range, but now she's in range for them, so takes the hit from Duane, and then I'm pretty sure the Black Witch will finish her off. No, for some reason, the Black Witch prefers going for 9S. Is she going to kill 9S with that? I don't know. No, she doesn't, so I guess she just could not reach Ramada for some reason. Well, that gives us a chance to start hitting Duane, so that's pretty good. Takes 1, we finish the Black Witch with a linear spear shot, and then Ramada has 1 more chance to hit before she goes down. What does she choose to do? She chooses to group next to Moore just so we give Duane the AoE attack. She felt bad for not dying the first time around, so figured she would give him an advantage, the chance to do more damage, kill more of our team, and heal as well. So really just Ramada being nice overall. That's what we're seeing right here. So after she trolls her team a little bit too much, dies and heals Duane back to half HP, we finally have Moore's Limit Break going on. Deals a little bit of damage to Duane, but 9S is there to finish her off. Yeah, Ramada really has been doing decent damage on our team so far. And then immediately afterwards, I find a maxed out Duane, Black Witch, and King Mont. So I guess we'll see that match and we'll just watch how it goes. Like the usual Duane I see, this one has a pierce resistance of 45%. So that gives you an idea how hard it will be for somebody like Ramada to do anything against him. And guess I'm choosing the wrong team, so let's switch to this one. Just like usual, the previous one though, Duane is on one side, King Mont is on the other, so our team will gravitate toward King Mont first, kill him, and then move to the other guys. And hopefully we don't get flanked or they don't collapse on us before we get the chance to kill King Mont. That would be a sure loss, because I don't believe we can take the damage that well. So this time King Mont is on the, I guess, left side compared to our team, so that's where our guys will go. So it'll be a bit different than the previous matches, but still, Duane should not be grouping with his teammates. Hopefully. Okay, there we go. That's what he does. Starts moving away from his team. We're really taking advantage of the enemy AI not grouping. right here. So Mort has her barrier. She's ready to fight the Black Witch, but definitely not ready to fight Duane. We have they have Darken Focus. I guess that won't really matter. We don't have a chance of evading either way. King Mont is faster than ever, and I don't think he's in range of Mort just yet, so we'll have a bit more chances to buff. We've got some resistance on Ramada. That'll help her because she's awfully squishy versus physical attacks with the current build. Pretty sure I could build her to be resistant to physical, but that's just not the way she is on our team. So gets the magic resistance right there, but she will not have the old one TMR for extra defense penetration. So she won't do a lot to King Mont, neither to Duane. She will be able to hit the Black Witch fairly hard though. So the disable, that was a little bit weird, but I guess that's what they chose to do. We hit King Mont once, we hit him twice, but he takes no damage from that attack. And then we hit him with the Armor Piercer, which finishes him off. So 1 down, and we've taken 1 hit off of the Black Witch. But now we're grouped, and she's likely going to drop the Limit Burst. Yep, that is what happens. So both Ramada and 9S eat that one. I'm pretty sure Mort is not in the AoE though, but it would not really hit Mort all that much. The main advantage is now Duane will have a harder time one-shotting our Mort. If she had the Dark Resistance down, she would die to any attack from Duane. Now she's got some chance of surviving at least 2 turns. So we do pretty weak hit on the Black Witch, but then 9S comes in, finishes her off, and Ramada can move on to Duane. Can she reach? Not yet, so she moves back. I'm actually a fan of that move. I think it's going to give us a little bit more chances to either have more buffs or just deal some damage before the fight actually begins. So hacking, and we probably lose 9S here. Yes, we do. That's pretty bad. If he can deal that kind of damage on 9S, imagine what he's going to do on the rest of our team. Kira just whiffs, but we're able to use Dread Spear Drive, so now that guy has no buffs and has attack down. Then Jamming Thrust, okay, I think we'll be fine, but chooses Eternal Darkness, does not get any disable, but we do lose Ramada as expected, and then I guess Mort is going to win with the Unevadable Pain. So just like basically every match we've done this in this video, Mort is the only one living at the end. She's definitely a powerhouse. So that was it. Is Ramada competitive with the likes of Duane, Black Witch, 9S? No, she's not a top tier unit. She's still an MR unit, but she has a unique way of dealing good physical damage while increasing survivability against magic, and her very long range Dread Spear Drive, which hits from 6 squares away, is impressive enough that it's really fun to use, and often the enemy can't retaliate immediately after she uses it. So overall, yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with her. I don't necessarily recommend that people build her, but she's a fun tool, and I'm thinking in class matches, with her very low character cost, she could potentially be a good pick for the next couple seasons. So I guess we'll see. It all depends how many Clouds and Fredericas are hanging around. But that was it, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you've learned a thing or two or just enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And then as per usual, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.